Today we're going to look at a new action camera by AKASO. This one's called the Brave 6 Plus. It's a 4K action camera. We're going to take a look at it, put it through its paces, and take some pictures with it. Today we're going to look at the Brave 6 Plus action camera. This is a 4K action camera, so we're shooting this video in 4K. So let's take a look at what's in the box. So first is the actual camera itself. Comes in a waterproof housing, like them all, and comes with accessories in little numbered bags. 2 batteries come with this one. A USB-C charge cable and a 2 battery charger. So with this you can charge up 2 batteries at the same time. That's actually quite useful because you could be charging 1 battery while you're using the camera, or just carry a spare with you for double the recording time. I like that feature already. The batteries themselves are 3.7 volt, 1350 milliamp hours, which is 4.995 watt hours for the 2 batteries. What other accessories do we get here? We get extra double-sided sticky tape for the mounts, an extra back, so if you break the back you've got a spare, anchor wire for anchoring this onto your surfboard or whatever so you're not going to lose it, a couple of zip ties. What else is in here? Looks like a little cleaning cloth to clean the lens, and that is all that's in this one. And in the main bag here you've got all kinds of extra accessories, such as a wrist strap to strap the camera onto your wrist. There's some more zip ties in here, another ankle strap or wrist strap, or a strap of some type. Comes with a belt clip, handlebar mount, remote control, this looks like a helmet mount. It's kind of curved. I think this is not. This would be a flat, maybe a flat mount. Another strap, another strap, camera housing. This looks like the same housing that other camera that I uses. So that's good. I can pop this thing right onto my bike because I've got the mount on my bike already. That's kind of a unique one. Just the shape of this one to raise the camera up a little bit. A tripod mount so that you can, this bracket will screw onto a tripod, but if you want to mount it onto one of the mounts, it screws onto one of these mounts itself. So these are all the accessories that it comes with. And this one's a tripod mount, so if you want to mount the camera onto a tripod, this can screw onto a tripod and then mount onto one of these conventional mounts. And of course the camera can be taken out of the housing. I guess the first thing we'll do is we'll remove the little cover from the lens here. We're going to load a battery into this thing. We're going to load an SD card and go through some of the menus, and then I'm going to take this out and test it out. So first things first, looks like the battery goes in on this side, so we'll open this up and install a battery. The micro SD card goes right there. So battery goes in, micro SD card goes there. Close that up. What's on the other side here? Looks like this is the USB. Looks like it's got a USB and an HDMI output. And to turn on the camera, power button on the front. And there's the screen on the back. No SD card. This one has a touch screen, so you can go through and you can set up your different modes. I'll go and grab an SD card, and I'll be right back, and we'll set this up and try it out. I'm going to do recording in 4K mode. I'm going to mount it on my Harley. We'll do some shots from the Harley and see how it performs in a couple different locations. I'll mount it on the dash, I'll mount it on my fairing, and I'll also mount it down in the I've got a mount on there already. I got a second mount on the roll bar, so we can try it in a couple different places, and we'll see how this one performs. So let me grab an SD card, and we'll take this thing out for a test fly and see how this one performs, and more importantly, how is the image in 4K mode. So to load the SD card, remove the battery. The SD card just goes in like that. Load the battery back into it. And when I power the unit up, oh, it wants me to format the card. Well, I guess I have to. I'm not going to format this card. I'm going to I've got stuff on the card, so I don't want to format the card because I don't want to lose what's on the card. So I'm curious as to what the maximum size. It's a card that's formatted in EX FAT. It's a 128 gig card. Okay, I have now wiped all the files off this card. Turn it on and see what message I get now. Please format SD card. So if I go into settings, all kinds of neat little settings in here. Camera settings, upside down or normal. And where is the swipe up? Okay, camera settings, filter, scene mode, voice control, driving mode, indicator light, screensaver. I take it that turns off the screen after so many seconds. Frequency 60 Hertz. Yeah, I see that. It tells me it wants to format the format. There we go. Format the card. Confirm. So this camera only supports FAT32, and that's what it's going to format in. So the maximum file size will be 4 gigs on this one. But video mode, driving mode, time-lapse video, slow motion video, still photo, looped video, there we go, normal video, driving, resolution, 4K 30, 2.730, 2.7K 30, 1440p, 60 frames, 1440p, 30 frames, 1080 at 90 frames per second, 1080 at 60, 1080 at 30, 720 at 120 frames per second, or 60 frames per second. So it can actually do some pretty high frame rate recording in the lower resolution modes. I want to do this in 4K. Image stabilization on or off. Video encode mode, you can pick either H.264 or H.265. I'm going to H.264 because that's all that I can do. Angle, wide, medium, and narrow. Let's just see what the differences are. First we'll look at the narrow angle of view. And this is the medium angle. And finally, this is the wide angle. I've taken the camera out, played around with it a bit, had it mounted on my fairing, which it shook like pretty bad, so we'll see how the pictures look when I did it on the mounted it on my fairing on my bike, and I also mounted it to the crash bar. I did some shooting with it on the crash bar. So if I turn the camera on, you notice that it lights up blue when the power is on. When I make a recording, it flashes blue. And it shows that it's recording on the back. Now I've been running it now for a bit, and I've used up about half the battery. I've probably put, I'm going to say probably 30 minutes of recording time so far. I guess we'll figure it out when I look at the actual footage in 4K. When you stop recording, the light shows blue. Power it off. Camera goes off. To play back recordings, you can play them back on the camera directly. Turn on the camera, as I say, this is your start stop button. There's also the buttons on the top here. Turn the Wi-Fi on, turn the Wi-Fi off. You see, this way you can connect your phone to it, and with the app view the video from the screen here on your phone, if you have the app on your phone. I tap the screen over here, goes into playback mode. This will show me the clips that I've got, and I can cycle through the clips. For example, there's one of the clips there. I've got the steady shot turned on this clip. As you can see, it's, even looking at it on the little viewfinder here, it's done a pretty good job of keeping the picture pretty still. We'll take a look at those shots later. Scan to the next clip. Right, these are all the different clips that have been recorded. We've got 10 clips right now. Looks like each clip's about 5 minutes and 56 seconds long. Oh, that one's 8 minutes, 3 minutes. So the clips are different lengths. That one's 8 minutes. So the clip length does vary, and I guess it's based on the size. These are some of the ones I shot with it mounted up on the dash, and it's shaking a little bit more. But I did not have the steady shot turned on. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to go and I'm going to take another shot before it gets dark. I'm going to take another shot mounted in its case. And take another shot mounted on the fairing on my bike with the steady shot turned on, as the first time it wasn't, and there was some quite shaky shots. So I want to try another shot with the steady shot on, and then I'm going to do some shooting from the car once it gets dark, and we'll look at the actual footage off the camera when I'm done. The other accessories, you can put it on this, put the camera into its base. And then clip the so you can wear the camera. Now you can clip this onto your pocket or onto your shirt, and you can wear the camera with that clip on there. So that's another accessory that comes with it. So I've got a couple of accessories here put together, and I'm going to set this one up to operate in my car. I'm also going to download the app and install it on my phone, and then we can take a look at how we can control from the phone when I connect it to the Wi-Fi. The app is downloaded and installed. I have to connect it to the camera itself. So I'm going to turn the camera on, and I'm going to press I think it's the up button here to go into Wi-Fi mode. I'm turning on Wi-Fi. Okay, now I'm going to look for the Brave Plus. So I'm going to add the camera here, and it's a Brave Plus. And we're going to follow the installation here. So I've turned on Wi-Fi, turn the Wi-Fi on. And now I'm going to connect it to the phone. So I'm just going to go down here, select my settings, find the Brave Plus. The password is 12345678890. Real easy password. And I'm going to connect it. As you can see, once I have connected the phone, I can now control the camera from my phone. If I want to record video, I can just click here, and now I've started the recording on the camera here, showing on the camera as well as it's also showing on my phone. And it tells me how long it's been recording for. To stop it, I can start and stop my recordings. If I want to take a photo, I can just switch over to take photo, and now it'll snap a photo. Go back to taking video. Now I'm recording video again. And it's all done by turning on the Wi-Fi. If you turn off the Wi-Fi, you've lost your connection. The Wi-Fi is turned on and off by pressing the little up arrow here. I've downloaded the instruction manual just so we can see what some of these settings do, just so we fully understand what they do. Video settings, video mode, you've got normal, driving mode, time-lapse mode, slow-mo video, and still photo loop video. Driving mode, this is if you turn on driving mode and you connect your camera to your car cigarette lighter through the USB port, the camera will turn on automatically when you start your car, and it will turn off if you stop your car. And the loop recording interval can be 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 8 minutes, and the default is 3 minutes. So I'm going to set this thing to 8. Slow motion video or time-lapse video. In time-lapse mode, pressing the shutter button, the camera records video from frames captured at specific intervals, which is 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and 60 seconds, with the default being 2 seconds. So it create a time-lapse video on its own. Slow motion will create, shutter release will create or record slow motion video, so it's capturing a high frame rate for playback at normal rate. And in still photo mode, it will take still photos during video recording. Loop recording is set, default is off, but you can set it to 1, 3, 5, and 8 minute intervals. And loop video interval, here we go. This is for your looping your video for your using it as a dash cam, which is what I'm going to take it out and try it. You got a white balance, auto, daylight, cloudy, tungsten, fluorescent. The default is auto. Exposure control from +2 to -2 f-stops. Metering mode, average or center metering. And it'll go up to 1600 ISO. And that's the basic features of the camera. Yes, it does only support FAT32. It says here it supports up to 64 gig, but that's not true because I've got a 128 and it sees all of the 128 gig memory card. At least it appears to see all of the 128. I'm going to take it in the car and I'm going to actually power it up through the cigarette lighter. I'm going to go into settings. Video mode is going to set it for driving mode, so it'll automatically start when I turn on the power, so I don't have to turn it on manually. And resolution, we've already got that set to 4K. Image stabilization's on. Video code as H264. Loop recording interval. Here we go, 8 minutes. Angle, I've got it set for narrow, but you can set it for different angles. I'll set it for wide in the car. Distortion calibration's on. That should correct the lens distortion. Exposure, white balance, meter mode. That looks good. I've got it set for average. White balance is set to auto. Exposure, auto. Audio is turned on. And loop recording interval is set for 8 minutes. You can turn it from 1 to 8. Upside down if you want to flip the camera over. Filter, normal, black and white, brown, colorful, warm. This is just for filters that you can add. Scene mode. So different scenery. Voice control, but I can turn that on. Driving mode is on. Screensaver, I'll turn that off for this. Frequency 60 Hertz. I don't have the date stamp on, although it will do it. And that should do it.
Okay, this first shot is mounted on the fairing of my bike, and the steady shot is turned off. So as you can see, there's a lot of camera shake on this because it's mounted on a fiberglass fairing and it shakes like crazy. This is a Harley Davidson V-twin, and when the engine's running at a low RPM, they shake, and there's no getting around that. I'm going to show you the same shot now with the steady shot turned on, so I can compare steady shot off versus steady shot on in a very shaky environment. So here's the same shot. I can drive the same road, and this time the steady shot's turned on. just so you can see the difference. And again, the actual camera case is vibrating violently here. So not the best place to put a camera on a bike on the fairing. It's going to be tough to watch. So I'm going to move it down and put it onto the frame, which is a little more stable than the fairing. So that's a little more like it. Now the camera is mounted onto my crash bar. And as you can see, it's a little more stable. Actually, it's a lot more stable. This is a relatively rough road. As you can see, the pavement's got a lot of deficiencies in it. But results-wise, it looks actually pretty good. I picked this part of the road because it's really a rough part of the road. There's a lot of work. As you can see, there's a lot of broken pavement here and a lot of potholes. So I purposely picked this particular section of road just to see how it would handle being bounced around. But picture quality wise, it's actually very good. So I'm just going to do a few shots in the dark, and I'll let you hear the audio off the camera itself, off the mic. And now I'm recording with the widest angle. It's actually quite dark right now. I just wanted to see how the camera sensitivity is in the dark, and the sky actually looks brighter on camera than it is. It's about I think it was around 10 o'clock at night when I filmed this last night. It's to say that it's dusk, and the camera actually looks a little bit brighter than it is in real life. And yet you still find people driving around with the lights off. You try to get their attention, but usually it doesn't work. So we just went through a file transition from one file to the next. There was not as much as a single frame drop there. Right when I was going around the corner was when it transitioned from one file to another. It's getting darker. As you can see, the picture's getting a little bit grainier now, but still, it's still pretty good because it is almost totally dark now. And to the eye, the sky looks black. Still looking a little bit blue on camera. So the camera is compensating for it a fair bit, but it is getting to be pretty dark out now. Oh, it's much darker now. As you can see, the performance of it is not as good as it was. Again, this sky is pitch black now. You don't see a thing with your eye. Still showing a little bit of sky in the camera, but it's actually very dark out. But this is not a dash cam. It's not designed as a low light performance camera. This is an action camera designed to capture your moments outside when you're riding your bike or surfing or skydiving. And for that, the picture quality is excellent. Anyway, I'm going to end this one now. We've gone through the features of this camera. The links are in the description. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again in the next one real soon. Bye for now.